We are recording this session, so thank you everyone. My name is Koban. I am the Education USA advisor to Moldova. I want to thank everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time zone you are attending from. Just a reminder, if you don't already know, please use the Education USA Center in your country. Some of you have many options, different centers, but take advantage of these free advising resources. We are here to help you achieve your dreams of higher education in the US, whatever stage that is or whatever program you're trying to get to. So please use us as a resource. We are here to help you. And so without further ado, I would like to introduce our panelists. So we'll go alphabetically. So we have Maria from Northampton Community College, Kathleen from Contra Costa Community College, and then well, I should say Dr. Thomas from Brookdale Community College. So thank you all for being here today. And without any further ado, let's get started.
Great. So I'm Maria from Northampton Community College, and in this presentation, we're going to talk about what a community college is, how you can decide if a community college is a good option for you to pursue your college education. And then we'll talk about the 2+2 model, where you as a student can begin your college education at a community college for 2 years, earning your associate's degree, and then transfer to a 4-year university to complete your bachelor's degree. So just to briefly go over community colleges in the United States, they were really created to provide access to education for everybody. In the past, higher education was only accessible to very wealthy people or people of only certain social classes, but community colleges were created to provide everybody an opportunity to get a high quality education after high school. They are low cost, so our tuition is less expensive, and we have open admissions for most academic programs, meaning that you do not need to submit certain test scores, you do not need to meet a bunch of requirements in order to be accepted to the college. There are over 1,000 community colleges in the United States, and over half of American students at some point during their college education study at a community college. This slide has some advantages of community colleges. So many of them offer English as a second language or ESL programs so that you can begin studying with us as you are mastering English, and then you can after you complete the ESL program, you can begin an academic program. Also, because community colleges are low cost, it's a great way to, it's great to start your education at a community college to complete prerequisite courses or those core general education courses that all undergraduate students need to complete for their majors. We also have smaller class sizes so that you can interact more with your classmates, the other students, and you also interact much more with your professors, and you're able to ask many more questions because it's the smaller group size. A lot of our programs have, they include hands-on learning. So you're learning together as a class, and then you're actually also applying what you're learning, maybe in a computer lab, or if you're a health major, you might be going to a clinical setting to start working with patients. So you're gaining that practical experience while you're still gaining your education. We have the same professors and same textbooks as 4-year universities. So we offer a very high quality education. It's not different professors. And we have many support services on our campuses to support you as you're learning, which can really help students who are just transitioning from high school to college. Things like a tutoring center, We have extensive libraries with library assistants who can help you do research, and many other offices like career services. So next, Kathleen is going to continue to tell us about community colleges.
Hi, yes, my name is Kathleen Kennedy, and I'm from the colleges of Contra, Costa in the San Francisco Bay Area. And then later, Maria, you should say where your community college is, and same with you, Janice. So anyway, yes, there's so many advantages of the community college, and lots of people have no idea that how much you can get out of the community college. And that's exactly what Maria was saying. There's so many wonderful opportunities and things you can do at a community college. So yes, English, if you need English preparation because you're not ready to start in a university, college courses, for sure, I think it's a good investment, because first of all, it's American English. The other thing is you'll be more confident about your English, because when you get to those courses, because the community college, like Maria says, they're university classes. They're no different except for the advantages that you heard: smaller classes, you have free tutoring. I mean, you get all this kind of help and services, but you want to be thinking about your courses, not your English. So the more English you know, you'll feel better about your experience. And also it's different how you study in the United States. I'm sure Janice and Maria would agree it is a bit different, and Kaya would probably agree it's different studying in the US and studying in Moldova or Kazakhstan or wherever. Okay, so the workforce development, fantastic. You can always work on campus in the first year. That's a legal requirement. In the second year, normally you can work outside campus, especially if they're course work that is related to your studies. And you can even get credit for those classes because it's part of being better in what you want to do, what your major is, especially culinary, might be IT. So you can work off campus. Again, the skills, there's not just, because at the community college, you can study anything and everything. So engineering, architecture, health service, to film, dance, etc. But also there's technical courses that can prepare you to be all kinds of things that you could do. It could be a plumbing or lighting or car fixing or whatever. There's lots of things. So anyway, and then of course, transferring to four-year institutions. And there's many, many advantages of getting into fantastic universities. Okay, so next slide, please. Okay, so we said English is a second language, workforce development, skills training. Basically, there's something for everyone at the community college, which is quite amazing how many, it's something for everybody. If it means getting a 4-year bachelor degree, or if it means just in 2 years, getting a technical degree in something that you're interested in. There's a hands-on kind of thing that we talked about. So transferring, this is where I think we really shine, is to transfer to amazing universities. And you can start at the community college, save money, like Maria said. You can even get your associate degree, which is 2 years, and you could stop and work for a year if you want, legally, and then continue to your 2 years more to finish your bachelor degree. And students from all these community colleges finish their bachelor degree in amazing universities. And then especially in California, we work with the universities of California and California state universities. And I'm sure that's what you do in your states too. So next slide, please. Okay, this is Julia, and she's from Brazil. And she's like doing it all, which you can do. She's done the completed English as a second language, so she felt more confident when she continued her studies. She's now getting her associate degree. So what she can do now is has two choices. She can just say, okay, I'm going to get my bachelor degree right now. I'm going to continue and go on to year 3 and 4 with because she wants to do it, to go and get her bachelor's degree. But if she would like, because she's getting an associate's degree, which is a diploma, she's legally allowed to do optional practical training, which means 1 year of paid work in the US related to her studies. So I'm not sure what her major is, but if you were an IT major, it would be fantastic that you could work in a computer office or in an office to help with their computer programming or whatever. Because then when you transfer to your bachelor degree, your dream bachelor degree that you want, then you can do another OPT. And that's what people, it was very exciting because your next OPT, because you've had experience, should be even better. I would think, because you've got experience, you're mature, and you got a bachelor's degree. Okay, so that's Julia. And the next slide is for
Hey.
you, Janice. And here comes Janice with agreements.
Thank you, Maria and Kathleen. That's been really great. And thank you for EdUSA for inviting us. I'm Jan Thomas. I'm Director of International Education at Brookdale Community College, and we are located in New Jersey. So we are on the East Coast. So I would like to explain a little bit more about the 2+2. My colleagues have been talking about this and talking about the ability to transfer to a 4-year university. So every community college in the US partners with schools in their state and in other states and even internationally to create agreements that allow you to continue your studies at the baccalaureate level seamlessly so that you save time and you save money. And in other words, if you are, let's go back to Julia, for example. She was a communication design major at Northampton. So Northampton ensures that her communication degree and the courses that Julia takes in that communication degree is going to transfer seamlessly wherever Northampton has articulation agreements for Julia to continue her studies. And all community colleges in the US have these types of arrangements. But we also explain to students that the way the educational system is structured in the US, you can transfer anywhere. So, you know, at Brookdale, certainly we send students to Rutgers University or to Felician University or Rider University. Both of those universities are here at the fair. But we send students anywhere. So if a student starts at Brookdale and wants to continue their studies in Minnesota, that's possible as well because of how our educational system is structured. You can take all of your general education classes and they are designed to transfer. The great thing about starting at a community college is that it allows you to explore programs of interest. So if you are an information technology major, you have to take an English class. If you are a history major, you also have to take a science class. So starting at a community college gives you the chance to take courses in different disciplines, and you can spend time exploring and decided, oh, I really love political science. I think I want to be a political science major. Or maybe because you've taken a course in biology, you say, oh my gosh, this is really great. I really love science. I'm going to be a science major. So you're saving time and money exploring academic options. And we say that you save money because the tuition at a community college is always a lot less than tuition at a 4-year university. So for example, at my institution, our annual tuition is just a little less than US $8,000. And that compares to about maybe $30,000 for a public institution in my state. So you get the same value, same courses, high quality for a lot less. And as I mentioned, we have articulation agreements both here in the US And we also have articulation agreements in other countries. So if you're really interested in a true global education, you can start here in the US, transfer to another institution in the US, or even consider international options. So I'll go to the next slide. So just to recap what my colleagues have already mentioned, many advantages to beginning your education in America at a community college. We offer high quality at a much lower cost. You can transfer anywhere in the US. We have flexible English proficiency because we offer English as a second language. Many times we do not even require a TOEFL or IELTS or Duolingo. We can provide you with the English language training needs. Our faculty focus on teaching. At a university, you may have teaching assistants or faculty who focus on research. At a community college, the professors who teach at a community college do so because they love teaching. We have small class sizes. We have the same types of clubs and sporting activities that you're going to find at a university. We have modern facilities, lots of academic programs that Kathleen mentioned. We have excellent student support services. There you will always find international student advisors, academic advisors who are there to support you and to provide you that great foundation so that you are successful when you transfer to a university. And I think what's really great for international students is that when you start at a community college, you have an extra year of optional practical training. If you go straight away to a university, you get to do practical training at the conclusion of 4 years of study. But if you start at a community college, after completing 2 years of study, you get that 1 year of optional practical training, practical work experience that does two things: helps you to save money for your 4-year education and gives you that extra year of work experience. And then when you transfer, you get another year of optional practical training. So we hope that you have learned a lot in this presentation. And I think if you'll go to the next slide, you'll see where we are located: Brookdale in New Jersey, Northampton in Pennsylvania, and Contra Costa colleges. You have some options there in the Bay Area of California. So we hope that you will visit us at our booths here at the college fair. And certainly we hope that you will email us individually with any questions that you may have about our institutions. So I hope that we have now some time to answer questions that have come through the chat and through the Q&A.
Yeah, lots of questions. This is kind of two people are leading in the same direction. So people want to know, what's the minimum GPA, so the grade point average for transferring, and then what are the kind of the basic admissions requirements to get into community college?
Okay, I'll start with the second question. We are open access. As Maria mentioned, we provide the opportunity for anyone to attend our college. So we do not exclude students from attending community colleges for most of our academic programs. So in general, completion of high school in your country is sufficient to attend our colleges. And then in terms of being admitted to the 4-year university, many community colleges, because of our agreements, as long as you successfully complete your community college studies, you can be admitted into institutions where we have partnerships. But those admission requirements can vary by institution. So if you are transferring from Brookdale Community College to, let's say, Columbia University in New York, well, Columbia is going to have a pretty high admission requirement. and you'll have to make sure that you meet the GPA requirements to be admitted into an Ivy League institution. If you are transferring to a public institution in our state, maybe the GPA requirement would be like, an average 2.5. So it's going to vary depending on the institution where you want to transfer.
Now I just like to add something about transferring, because that's what you're concerned about. Is you have these wonderful 2 years, you have your wonderful experience working, but you want to get a great bachelor degree. So every state's different with agreements and guarantees. Like Janice said, I think they might even have some abroad, like we do. Like you could study 2 years in California and then go to the American University in Paris. But in our case of California, community colleges are public. All of these community colleges are public. That's important to know. They're not private. So in California, this is just California, and I'll be real quick. There's 23 California state universities, and there's 9 universities in California. So already in your second year, you can get a guarantee. You say, I want a guarantee to one of these California state universities, like San Diego State, San Francisco State, etc. And those GPAs, they have, like Janice said, they're all different, but there's usually about a 2.4, even 2.2, and you're guaranteed. You've got a place in one of these 23 California universities. Then the University of California is the same. Second year, first semester, you say, hey, I want a guarantee to UC Santa Barbara. Okay, UC Santa Barbara, that will be, you say, all right, if you get a 3.2 grade point average, when you finish your 2 years, you're in. You know you've got that university. But in the meantime, you won't just count on that guarantee university. You apply to universities all over the US if you want to. You can say, okay, I want to go to New Jersey. I want to go to Wyoming or New York. Do 2 years and get your bachelor's degree. But these transfer things are very special and very valuable in all these community colleges. They have great agreements.
Yeah, thank you. I think we have a great question, as there could be a mix of attendees in the crowd. So we have kind of an older person, or I say older, they're in their 30s, and they want to know, can we start, our US education at this age, or is it too late? Which honestly, it's never too late to gain more knowledge. But from a professional standpoint, what's your take?
Yeah, just to answer that, our college, a lot of community colleges, we have students on our campus that are very diverse. So, they're not just typical 18 or 20-year-old students. We also have students who are mid-career. Sometimes they completed one career, they want to transition into a new field. So everyone is welcome to start at a community college, and it can be a great option to upskill or, develop additional skills in your field. Or if you're looking to transition, it's also a great option. Like Janice mentioned, we're open admissions. So I know Northampton Community College, you either need to be at least 18 years old or have completed high school. So if you meet one of those requirements, you're accepted. So age is not something that is a barrier. Community colleges are open access, and we want to provide access to everybody.
Yeah, great. Someone wants to know, is it necessary to know English well before entering the college? And I know we hit on this a little bit, but maybe if you can elaborate any kind of English learning programs they would take before starting academic courses.
Yeah, I think sure. I think all of our institutions do offer English as a second language. And because we don't have test requirements, we can test you when you come to our campus, and then we would provide you with the language training needs that you have to prepare you to take college or university level classes.
But I think also one of the requirements that we phrase is open enrollment, which is great. But all of the colleges do require an English proficiency, proof of English proficiency. If you don't have proof of English proficiency, like a TOEFL, IELTS, Duolingo, then you can do the English language program. So for example, we ask for a 61 TOEFL, of 5.5 IELTS, 90 Duolingo. And Janice, what does Northampton require? Or pass the highest level of English at our English school?
Yeah, we have, so we can do, starting with beginning ESL. So our TOEFL, for example, is 40, IELTS is 5, Duolingo 75, and I'm blanking on PTE. But yeah, I mean, it's quite low because we're able to offer ESL to students.
Yeah,
Okay.
and our college, you know, I don't know the numbers offhand, but every student, we send you a testing coupon so that the student is not paying for the English as a second language exam. The student can take that exam remotely from their home country before they even arrive, or they can take it when they arrive at our college. And then you meet one-on-one with someone for advising, who helps you choose English classes based on your level.
Yeah, there seems to be, I'm noticing a little bit of confusion maybe on this transfer process. So we've got questions like, will your high school grades and SATs count when we transfer, as well as like majors? How do majors work with the transfer process? You know, wanting to, you start your major at a community college in one thing, but then it might ultimately switch because of what's available at another school. Maybe we can talk about that. Just to clarify, I guess, the transfer, what's needed to transfer.
Who wants it?
Yeah, you know, so at Brookdale, we work with our transfer programs to, we call it mapping. So for example, we'll, and you might have a good example of this when you stop by our booth with Rider University. So Rider University takes a look at all of the courses that are offered at Brookdale, and they will tell us so that we can explain to our students, okay, if you want to transfer to Rider University in business, we need you to take this set of courses at Brookdale, because we're going to accept them exactly into our institution. So so we go into great amount of detail, but I think as Kathleen mentioned, you know, you can transfer to any university in the US. So yeah, and it's up to that institution to look at your transcript and the record of courses that you took at Brookdale or Northampton or Contra, Costa, look at your grades, and they will determine, okay, we're going to take all of these credits and apply them towards your degree. And things vary by state. In New Jersey, we have a law that requires public institution to take the associate's degree from the community colleges in the state of New Jersey. So in the US, an undergraduate degree is roughly 120 credits, and you complete 60 credits at the community college. So in New Jersey,
that's the same.
Yeah, that's the same, right? So in we're required, those schools are required to take all 60 credits that you complete at the community college towards your baccalaureate degree when you transfer.
And I'll just add one thing. I'm sure it's the same, Maria, at your community college, is you have to count on your international student counselors and the transfer office right from the beginning, you know, to have an idea, what do you want to major in? Where would you like? They're there to help you figure out what's the best path for you. The good thing about California is that our courses are exactly the same as you take at San Francisco State. Our courses are exactly the same as you take at UC Berkeley, because we're the same public system. So that makes transferring California very easy, for sure, but you can transfer anywhere. And Maria, how does it work in your community college for transferring?
Yeah, I mean, we have transfer agreements with four-year colleges and universities all over the United States. So especially international students, I think, like to begin at a community college and then say at Northampton in Pennsylvania on the East Coast, And then they like to transfer somewhere across the country. They're very adventurous. They want to see, they want to live in a new city. And that's totally fine. Or if you want to start in Pennsylvania and transfer to a 4-year in Pennsylvania, that's also an option.
No, that's the magic of the community college. So like our students go to your states and your students go to California to get their bachelor degree. Why not? Yeah.
You're
Whoops.
muted.
We're right at that 45-minute mark. I want to ask one more question, and I'm going to kind of do a roundup of all the other questions we didn't get to, but what is the acceptance rate into community colleges? That seems to be a big question.
Oh, wow. 100% if you have all of the requirements.
There you go.
100%.
I wanted you to hear it from the counselor.
100%. You know, you have to have a bank letter. We haven't talked about visas, but that's very important. To be able to do your visa interview, you have to prove that you can live 1 year studying and living in New Jersey and Pennsylvania and California, because that is for the visa interview that they're confident that you can live comfortably studying and living while you're doing 1 year of study at any of these community colleges or any community college or any university in the US. It's exactly the same. That's another requirement.
I guess I'll squeeze in this question. Is SAT required for community colleges?
Nope.
There you go.
Nope.
So I know we've run out of time. I do want to say, for those of you that have the financial aid questions, the next session at the next hour, so starting at, where I am, it's 12:15. So depending on where you are, it's whatever hour at 15, there's going to be financial aid sessions. Check out that webinar schedule, because there's going to be a session on what is available on community college campuses. So that will vary from institution to institution, if there's housing, dorms, the different kind of social aspects that we know all students love to participate in. So check out those other sessions, because some of them are going to kind of deep dive. We were kind of the general introduction to the community college 2+2 model and transfer. So the next session is financing your education. Let me see. Then the hour after that is, again, the benefits, but really talking about the price and OPT, what that is. So that's your optional practical training. For those of you who are really interested in STEM fields, the session after that will be studying STEM. Then we have the campus life and then alumni panel. So you can talk to alumni directly, understand what they went through. And again, for those of you who—
One of our students will be there.
Yeah. So for those of you who really want to know what's the best program, where do you go, who has the best, we cannot answer that question. That is so difficult based on your own needs, because you guys have so many different needs, whether it's what you specifically want in a program, what you can afford, because you need to be able to afford your education, and that varies from person to person. Where you want to live, there's all kinds of factors you take in. So take this time though, you've got so many hours to visit all the booths, ask them questions. In the info stand, there's a brochure that kind of gives a snapshot of what each school can provide for you. So take advantage of these next, 5 hours to visit the booths, to visit the schools, and really find out, what do you have? I'm interested in this. What should I go here? Counselors, yes, they want you to go to their school, these advisors, but if Maria knows that we don't have a great program and maybe you should check out this community college, they're gonna tell you that. We're competitors, but we're not, because we want everyone to have a great education. So don't, be afraid to ask these questions. And also use this time to practice your English and to discover more about the schools and the programs that maybe you didn't know you were interested in. So again, sorry that we couldn't answer every single question. There's so many, but we thank you for your enthusiasm. I thank you, Dr. Thomas and Maria and Kathleen, for joining us today. It's, great that you guys could be here. And students, thanks for coming again, and visit the booths. They're going to be your best resource. So have a great day, enjoy your time, and thanks for coming. So.
Thank you, EdUSA.
Thank
This is
you. Thank you,
wonderful.
Kaya.
Very
Nice
much.
to meet you guys.
You too.
Okay.